Welcome everybody to Season 1 of Break Up the Daily Grind. If you're just joining us for the first time, I would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Ben. My co-host across the table, his name is Corey. Corey, how you doing?
Pretty good. It was a busy week.
Yeah?
We had all those, obviously you know, because you live here too, but we had all those storms.
Yeah.
Rolled through. Did you guys lose power?
Nope. Didn't
No.
even blink.
Ours flashed once, but it never like fully went out.
No?
But
Good.
schools went out.
Did they?
Yeah, so that was fun to deal with Monday.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and Tuesday.
Well, the good thing is there wasn't no kids in school because they were on spring break.
No, they were. It was after the day that they came back.
The day they came back.
Yeah. So that
Dude,
was.
I just realized I lost a week somewhere.
You did.
Holy moly!
Oh.
My brain is cooked. I'm sure everyone else can hear that in my voice. And we are observing the 6-foot rule here at the studio for sure. Just because I don't like sitting that close to Corey anyway.
Oh.
No, I had a little congestion stuff going on for the last week, but nothing that really slows me down. Nothing. I don't feel bad. I just sound horrible. So yeah, I'm gonna blame that for me losing a week.
There you go. This is the right thing to do.
Yeah, we'll blame it on something I can't control.
Yeah. Other than that, I did that charity exercise thing.
Yeah, you did a charity event. Was that today?
Yeah, it was exhausting. I can't even lift my arms. I'm in so much pain.
Well,
this will be perfect for getting back into the gym routine.
Horse crap.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how, but I don't know how it's possible to feel so good and so awful at the same time, but it is. I rolled out of that bed when you called me. I'm like, oh, this sucks.
It's like, oh, it feels so good laying. Oh,
it does.
I had to move.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me in that regard. Not too bad though. Not too bad, all things considered.
Yeah, I didn't have too bad of a week. Same old dumb stuff at work, but now I can honestly say that I'm part of the walking violation club.
Nice.
Yes, I got my butt in trouble at work for a safety violation, and they were so kind to say, you know what, you did such a terrible thing, we're going to give you a vacation day. We're going to give you a vacation day. You can go home and chill out and relax with the family just because you did such an awful thing. And I says, thank you very much, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah, so. Oh, well. Okay, well. Before we get too involved in our discussion for today, we would like to let you know that today's episode has been brought to you by
DTE Energy. DTE Energy is leading the way to a cleaner, safer, and smarter energy future, and powering our internet shenanigans since we hit the record button.
Yes. And we hit the record button quite frequently.
We do.
Yep.
We've been slacking a little bit lately.
Yeah, well, I like
life stuff.
Yeah, and if anybody's been listening to us on a regular basis, they know that I do more than one podcast. So.
Oh yeah.
I definitely hit the record button more than I like.
That's true. You do.
And then I do a lot of deleting, and then I hit it again, and then I delete. And I hit it again. It's just ridiculous. So, okay. So now we're going to go. Now I think is a good time to start out with our dad jokes.
No, spare me.
Yeah, spare you. Well, the sad part about this is that we don't have any dedications this week.
Oh, that is sad.
Yep. So we'll just dedicate it to all dads.
There we go.
Everybody's going to be included in this one.
Heck yeah.
Yep. I probably, if I'd have known I was going to do that, I probably should have got better dad jokes.
Put on the spot right now.
Yeah. Yep. So I will give you a little heads up. I do have one here specifically for you, Corey.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Yep. Okay. So are you ready for some terrible, awesome, dedicated dad jokes?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, with thumbs up.
Thumbs
Snapping
up.
fingers and thumbs up. Okay.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. Okay. Why did the tomato turn red?
Why?
'Cause it saw the salad dressing.
I've heard that one before. I just couldn't remember the punchline to it.
Don't make me laugh. I'll
So
start
funny,
hacking.
you're going to die.
I'm going to die anyway, unfortunately. Okay. I asked a computer tech guy, how does he make a motherboard?
How?
He told me he just tells her what he does for a living.
Oh my gosh, we don't get into it for the excitement. That's for sure.
You know what? I am so glad that spring is here. You want to know why?
No, it's not. Okay, I know. I was doing a bit. Okay, go ahead.
That's all right. We're good with it. I'm so excited that spring was here. I wet my plants.
I like that one.
That was a good one.
I like that one a lot. Oh, I needed that. That was really good. Oh my god.
Hey, what has more?
Okay.
You got yourself.
I'm good.
control?
I'm good.
Sure?
I'm good. Let me.
Breathe in, breathe out. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. But what has more lives than a cat?
What?
What has more lives than a cat? A frog. It croaks every day.
Oh, I wish you would have saved the plants one for
Last.
last. Oh, that one was so good.
Yeah, but you know, I
Yeah.
gotta keep you on your toes.
Yeah, that's true.
I set
that's
you up
true.
and then I push you flat on your face. Well, at least some of them put a smile on your
Yeah,
face. And
that-
I hope they put a smile on everybody's face because, you know, if I don't put a smile on your face, how can I wet my plants? Now with that out of the way, we can get back to this. Whatever we want to call this for today.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Hey, and by the way, Corey, I don't know if you realize, but you know how many episodes we got today? That making this one?
Is this 20?
This makes 20.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was thinking that maybe today we should break it up a little bit from the Reddit drama that we were so happily involved with.
Yeah.
And maybe do some trivia that, you know, you can't unknow.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
You like it. Okay. So let's get some trivia going here for you. Okay. Let's see. Let's do a sports one. How's this? From one loser to another.
Do.
After a trader known as London Whale lost the J.P. Morgan Chase $6 billion in 2012 trading scandal, the CEO, Jamie Dimon, received a pep talk call from former NFL star Tom Brady. I'm sure the pep talk helped when Dimon finally found out that his annual bonus was cut in half to a measly $10.5 million.
That's still so much, though. I mean, I guess
Yes.
compared to $6 billion, that's not a lot. But
Yeah, but-
I can barely imagine losing $100 for.
But this is my, you know, and we talked about this, not you and I, but I've talked about this earlier this week about how much people make
Yeah.
and how some of these people their incomes are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves, you know, that kind of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see, you know, being well paid, you know, well compensated, especially if, you know, sports athletes.
Well, it's a big money maker, you know, the entertainment aspect
but
of it and everything.
The point is the reason why it makes so much money is because they just keep raising the freaking price. You know, at this rate, you know, we could all go to see these if $5 a person,
I know, right?
$10 a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all could go.
Oh yeah.
And we all have fun, and they would still make money hand over fist. There's no reason to make this kind of money. I mean, I'm glad that, you know, they make money. I would like to make money too, but when is enough, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. All right, here's one from us old-timers might know about this one.
Old time.
Yeah, it's just, I don't even know if I want it. This one's called Cock Rock.
Cock rock.
Yep.
Heck yeah, that's my favorite genre. No, actually, wait.
Wow. Dude, that explains so much right now.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? My thoughts about you, were just like, light came on. You just
Look,
yeah.
I've always said that
Oh, this ought to be good.
I would be super successful in the dating scene if I just changed teams. You know what I mean? I really would. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you know what? All right. Well, I don't even know if I want to read this one now.
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh, this is called Cock Rock. After the record label DGC wanted to censor the nude baby on the cover of Nirvana's 1991 album Nevermind.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you probably remember
Yeah,
that cover.
no, I know exactly what they're talking about.
The band suggested the covering of the offending image with a sticker on that says, "You're offended by this. You must be a closet pedophile." That would almost been an album cover I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Because that'd be some funny shit. Like, no, I'm not a closet pedophile. I think it's quite funny. All right, this is another here. Jingle All the Way. In 2009, the ABC network cut over 2 minutes from A Charlie Brown's Christmas, a beloved TV special that warns against the commercialization of the holiday in order to give more airtime to commercials.
Really?
Yep, that's weird. You just can't unknow that.
That's kind of dark.
Yeah, well, that's media for you.
Yeah, it is. Oh, this is the Heinz ketchup one you were talking about.
Yeah, the Heinz one goes along with your album cover.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'll read that one, actually. Saucy Link. In 2015, Heinz unknowingly allowed a QR code on their ketchup bottles to direct to an expired URL, which by then was home to a porn site. That's my kind of QR link.
Yeah, the Heinz 69.
The Heinz 69. Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize that. That's amazing. That was like when I was a kid, me and John were using the computer, and we ended up, you go to Google, you search everything,
right?
Because that's like the main search engine and stuff. But at the time, there was like there's this website called Oogle, and so it's just Google without the G. And
oh, really?
Yeah, if you forget to type in the G, and it was like we typoed it one time.
Right.
And it took us to this website, and it was just like naked men and naked women like all over the screen and stuff. We were like 10 and 11 at the time.
Ew.
Something like that. And that like popped up. We started like freaking out. We thought like the FBI was gonna like break into our house after seeing that stuff. We were like,
oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Dying for a smoke. Marlboro Red cigarettes earned the nickname Cowboy Killers after 5 of the 7 Marlboro men died of smoking-related illnesses. I think I knew that one.
Yeah.
Actually. I remember there was an old, I think it was Marlboro, actually, where it was like, with like the cowboy smoking.
Yeah.
I forget what he says. There was like some like line that he said that was really iconic. Apparently not iconic enough for me to remember it, yeah. But yeah.
I just as a side note for that Oogle,
yeah,
it just says website under maintenance.
Does it? Yeah, it probably no. That was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
I was just curious if it was still.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Yeah. No, I want to be able to put blocks in my.
He was like, we need to make sure everything we say is
accurate. Right? Yeah, you can't. We can't be.
It's research purposes.
Yeah, we can't be putting up. This is like media outlet stuff, so we can't ever skew that like everyone else already does.
You've come a wrong way, baby. BMW was forced to recall their female voice navigation system in the 90s after a bunch of German men complained that they wouldn't take directions from a woman. I That's not where I was expecting it to go.
All
I
right.
was expecting it to be like a very like salacious voice or something,
They
where it's
couldn't
like they're like,
focus.
I can't focus, I'm too horny. Like,
They said the German, not the French.
did Nazi that coming?
Speaking of the Germans,
This one's actually somewhat recent. In 2016, Microsoft introduced an AI chatbot to Twitter with the hopes of helping it improve its language skills. After less than 24 hours in Twitter's toxic mire, yeah, that tracks. The bot was tweeting things like, "I f***ing hate feminists," and "Hitler was right." Unsurprisingly, the project was promptly canceled.
and this is why we don't trust AI.
Why would you use Twitter of all places? Everyone knows that's like a toxic waste dump cesspool.
It's not Twitter, it's X. As if that's any better.
Yeah.
Let's take something that's a toxic cesspool.
Arguably, somehow it made it worse, which
Right.
I didn't even think was possible.
You took something that was, hidden by a nice name and gave it a name called X, which, has
That just
usually-
makes me think of a porn site.
Yeah, no, right? They just, well, you know what? Okay, kitty cocktail. Well, how comes I always pick the ones that has the word cock in it?
I don't know.
Oh, this one here has got to do with Applebee's, right?
I like Applebee's.
Applebee's. Well, here, Applebee's had gotten in trouble a few times for serving underage patrons. Never happened when we went in there.
Yeah.
Like the time they served a Long Island iced tea to a 5-year-old New Yorker.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I'll read that again. They got in trouble for serving underage patrons. Like the time they served a Long Island iced tea to a 5-year-old New Yorker.
I really need the context.
Well, I'm not done, but you're not going to get much context.
Okay.
A margarita to a California toddler, and a spiked apple juice to a Detroit 15-month-old.
What?
Yeah, there's no context. I mean, it's just basic facts that you
Yeah,
can't know.
But why?
Well, because I don't know.
Thanks. I know the drinking age is different depending on country. There
But
are
it's just-
countries that have
yeah.
obviously it's toddlers and like a 5-year-old and stuff. But I'm saying like it is interesting how some countries' drinking age is a lot, because I think there's some countries where it's like 15, and there's some that go as like
Yeah, Germany, I think it's like 18 or something like that.
some. I think there's a few that even go as low as like 13 and
Yeah.
stuff. But with
Yeah.
like it's got to be like adult supervised or
Right.
something like that.
I mean, this in here, this one at Applebee's is probably got to do with the name.
Yeah.
And so, if you've never been into an Applebee's, get out from the rock. No, I mean, if you have the server that comes to your table, and she takes your order, she gives the order to the bartender.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So she could have easily said, and these names can be, except for the margarita.
So
But
you're
the spiked apple juice. She might have meant apple juice.
yeah.
And the bartender said, "Oh, spiked apple juice. Okay."
I could see that where it's like a miscommunication.
Right.
Where it's like, I could also see it where it's like the mom orders that,
And
they think
and
it's
then
for
the mom.
They think it's for the mom, and then the mom gives it
Right.
to the kid. Because even though the mom gave it to the kid, I think they're still liable for that.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. But she ordered something that she was thinking it was for her child.
Yeah, I could see
And
that
the waitress thought she was ordering something for her because
Yeah.
she had kids.
Yep.
Yep. You definitely need a spiked apple juice, lady. Here you
Yeah.
go.
On the house.
Right. I don't know. Oh, okay. How about this one? This one here is actually labeled from a show that I used to watch. It's called Challenge Accepted.
What is that?
It's originally from the TV show How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's where I was gonna. I thought the TV show was called Challenge Accepted.
No,
That
no,
stuff.
one
No,
of the
you're talking about
characters-
Barney's catchphrase.
Yeah, that and It's legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
Yeah, I love that show.
That show.
Yeah.
Love those catchphrases.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got to rewatch that show again.
You know
That's
who?
a good one.
You know who turned me on to that show?
Who?
Your boss.
Really?
Yeah. We.
Oh, I think I remember you mentioned. You're
Yeah.
the reason I started watching it because I'm like, I need to watch a new show. I remember you said you were talking about you were watching that one. I'm like, I'll check that one out. I liked it. It was really good.
Yeah. Her and I were. This was quite a while ago. We were talking over. I don't know. We were just talking, and she's like, "Have you ever seen this show?" And I'm like, "No." I says, "I don't." The title just kind of turns me off a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
She goes, "You gotta watch it. It's the funniest thing ever."
it is.
And I started watching it, and I tell you what, Barney has got to be the best character in that whole thing. I mean, they're all great characters.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, and they all coincide with each other. You know,
Yeah.
they all work together. But man, some of the stuff he says,
Bro,
is just
he's
like
hilarious.
absolutely.
I think he
hilarious.
was the most well-known actor in that cast too at the time. Like he had been in other stuff.
Oh yeah,
as well
Yeah,
too. He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he used to play. He was the first person to play a doctor of a very young age.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't remember the other show, but
He also was in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle
yeah,
too. I've never seen it, but I knew he was in that one. Snuff. That movie, those movies are stupid as hell for what
Right.
I've heard, but I think I'd like them. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, back on track here. It
Yeah.
says challenge accepted. It says introduced in 1969, the Nerf balls were marketed as the first indoor ball.
Okay.
An extremely catchy and not at all buzz-killing slogan. You can't hurt babies or old people.
No, man. I would go
They
with
must
some,
not have some of the Nerf guns
No.
that we have, because Amy's got a Nerf gun. That son of a will put welts.
they hurt sometimes.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. But
Dude.
your slogan should be like, "Oh yeah, what was it called again? What was the Nerf gun called again?"
Well, it just says Nerf balls.
Nerf balls. They're balls to the wall or some, some.
Somebody would have had a problem with that one.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know we don't, but we'd have found it funny. But although you can't hurt babies or old people.
That's not a slogan. That's like a warning label.
Oh, no, that's a challenge. You want to make a bet?
Let me put some tacks on each side of the each side of the balls.
We got to up the pressure on the spring to this bad boy. we're gonna use a car strut spring.
You seen some of those videos of the people like replacing the springs on Nerf guns
No,
and
I
stuff
didn't
and making them like fire obviously not as fast as like a legitimate gun, but like insane speeds for Nerf guns. Those are crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Those are the ones that
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, you
but
will
I
hurt
think it's
babies
cool.
and old people. Matter of fact, you'll hurt the babies so much that they'll still be hurt when they turn old. Oh, here, let's get one for this. Will make people shake their head and say, "What?" Ready?
I'm ready.
In 1985, Colgate
Okay.
required the company that offered toothpaste called Darky to many Asian countries. If the name wasn't suspect enough, Darky's logo was Al Jolson, a risque performer in a black face.
What?
A risque performer in a black face. It took the executives to 1989 to change the name of the product to Darlie and update the packaging. Also, the Chinese name brand still translate to black person toothpaste.
That's so fucked up.
It in a day and age with all the censorship and all the you have to be politically correct and all that good. These people were, I mean,
When did you? That was like 1990s,
85 to 89.
See, that's some stuff that I would have expected, like 1930s. You know,
No,
like
1930s, 1940s. They just said, black people don't deserve toothpaste. They were way worse.
that's my point. Is I would have expected something like that, like more so back then.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it, all that all the racial prejudice and everything it's a lot It's not as far back
No, it's
as
not.
people think.
And the sad part is, that has not ever really gone away. I believe that
Not for many generations, at least.
I don't think it ever.
I mean, to a degree, I think it'll get better, but I don't think it'll ever go away.
I don't think it will ever get better.
No?
Nope. A lot of the racial groups that like to scream racial this and racial that are pushing the racial agenda. They're not trying to get rid of it. It's a way to make them be seen. It's a way for them to be out front.
Well, I mean, if they achieve their goal of, like, you know, equality and stuff, then their groups become obsolete.
Yeah, and if
you
don't, you will never eliminate racial discrimination if you keep pushing it. I've always said, if you have to put a color in front of any phrase or any group, you're pushing racism. It's not about these people, you know. I mean, and I know I'll probably catch a little flack for it, but that's just the way I feel. You know, if you don't feel that way, I totally respect your opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way I see it is you cannot put a color in front of it and it not be racist, right? So if I went into a store, right,
Mm-hmm.
and I just started screaming at the top of my lungs, "White Lives Matter,"
Yeah.
what are you going to coin me as?
White supremacist?
If I don't care who goes in, right? If I went in and started yelling "Black Lives Matter" without you seeing who I was, would you think the same thing?
I mean, yeah. Or no.
Why?
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a black life and a white life?
I don't think there should be any
My point
difference.
exactly.
Yeah. But I mean,
Right? If you're putting one in front of the other, you are being a racist.
what about, like, as identifying things? You know, like,
That's not what these phrases. Black people toothpaste.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking
Right.
about that and stuff, because there is, like you said, it should be, like, you know, abolished altogether.
Yeah, well, you know, like
I'm just saying, I feel like there's always gonna be, like, you know, different ethnicities,
right?
You know, there's, because like it's useful for other things. Like, if you're, like, you know,
this is my friend John that's black.
Yeah.
Or this is my Mexican friend Jesus.
Yeah, okay, and that's
used as a descriptive manner. That's not used as the other way, right? That's not used like this is.
I mean,
this is for black people. No, why is that?
It could be, you know, this is my Mexican friend. You know, why do they have to be described as your Mexican friend?
Because you're showing respect to his heritage, right? You know, it's a descriptive
It's like,
term,
yeah,
right?
You know,
and I feel like I'm getting on a slippery slope here.
Yeah, no,
so I want to get
agree.
back. I want to get back to where we're at, but you know, I just think that until we stop using those particular colors, any of them, right?
Yeah, I think it depends on the context.
Yeah, outside of being descriptive to actually what they physically look like.
Yeah.
But when you coin those colors or those races or ethnicities to something other than being descriptive of actually how they physically look,
mm-hmm.
you're still pushing the agenda. And before we get, you know, too far down that road, let's find something else here. Okay, let's talk about pharma. Yeah, because we all like to hate them.
Big pharma.
Yep. Almost lost the pharma. Insufferable pharma bro, Martin Shariq, started his first hedge fund in 2006. And after just a year, lost a $2.3 million lawsuit to the Lehman Brothers. They failed to collect before going bankrupt in 2008. Well, yeah, because they probably couldn't pay that lawsuit.
How much was it?
$2.3 million. I don't know what it costs to start a hedge fund, but
I don't know.
I would have to guess there's probably not enough in there. Here's a short one. Fast food, slow people. Because Americans suck at math and think that a third is less than a quarter, A&W's third pounder was unable to compete with McDonald's quarter pounder and was eventually dropped from the menu.
That's amazing.
Yeah, really. And I've seen that before.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually. I mean, these are trivia facts that are true.
Third pounder.
Yep. A&W had a third pounder burger. Look, it was
When?
very similar. Well, A&W, right? It's been quite a while.
I mean, they're still around.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they have those on the menu no more.
No, I mean, I doubt it. That's crazy. A&W trying to compete with McDonald's.
Actually, A&W, if I'm not mistaken, was actually out first.
Well, it was, but that doesn't mean McDonald's wasn't more successful.
Well, no, because they were.
I mean, obviously. But.
They were countrywide. They were a nationwide. But,
yeah.
Yeah. And people thought that the quarter pounder was bigger than the 2 pounder. Like, yep. That was the original start of core math right there.
I probably would have thought a third pounder was less than a quarter pounder.
I failed you. I'm sorry. I failed you as a parent.
Sorry, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, you are.
Womb service.
Yeah, I can see this one's going to go dirty fast.
That's a dad joke.
Is it?
Womb service.
Womb service.
Like room service, but in the womb.
I know where you're going with it.
I know. It's funny.
Well, maybe some of these we can double as dad jokes later.
Capitalizing on U.S. women's limited access to birth control, Lysol marketed itself as a douche and a contraceptive from the 1920s through the 1950s.
Can you imagine the burn from that?
Lysol
as a contraceptive? You spray that stuff directly in there? Can you imagine how... Ooh. Dude, that... I don't know. If you're a female, email us. At mo9studios@gmail.com. You tell me if that would hurt, because I got a feeling that would burn bad.
Was it made for that? Or was it like just the cleaning product... But it also, you could also... that seems dangerous.
Look at the year.
I know. I'm just...
They did a lot of dumb stuff back then. But there's your catch for womb service, because they use it to clean up the mess left by... That's just wrong.
I don't want to read this next one, but I'm going to.
You actually secretly you do.
Doctor's odors.
Oh, boy.
Believing that fighting one noxious vapor with another was the key to health, doctors during London's 1660 plague outbreak recommended that patients fart into a jar and keep it on hand to inhale in case of exposure.
Oh, that just seems crappy all the way around.
That was funny. Oh my gosh. All right. Going along with bodily functions. Merry Christmas. In Spain's Catalonia region, nativity scenes included a very special character. El Caganer, a villager taking a dump in the corner. Traditionally, the figure was a male peasant with a red hat. Nowadays, the mad crapper can be anyone, including politicians, movie stars, and video game characters.
So they put a character in the corner, crapping in the corner.
Yeah, nativity scene.
I just don't think that's a present I want to open up.
I mean, it's historically accurate. You think they had, flushable toilets back then?
No, but okay. That's probably one I probably wish I could unknow.
Public cervix announcements.
Oh my gosh. What are you into over there?
In 1946, Disney produced an animated educational short called The Story of Menstruation, and it's believed to be the first time the word vagina was used on film. Disney. I wonder if you could find that on on the internet at all. I wonder if that's exists, or if that's one of those things that's lost media. Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm sure if Disney did it, they probably got it buried.
If your erection lasts more than 3,000 years, consult a doctor.
3,000. 3,000 years? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that.
Egypt's teenage king, Tut, was mummified with a fully erect penis in tribute to Osiris, the god of rebirth. This act had the added value of pissing off his dad, a big advocate for monotheism.
That would probably be funny if I knew what monotheism was.
The belief in and worship of only one God.
Oh, okay. So we're all kind of like that. Since we did, let's see, we touched on body parts and racism. Let's see if we can't get a little more religion in here. Okay. How about this one?
Okay.
Bless this mess.
Oh man.
Asher Yatzar is an Orthodox Jewish blessing thanking God for good health. It is recited after engaging in an act of defecation or urination.
Oh, nice. That's
Bless
a sick
mess.
rhyme, yo.
Yeah.
Defecation, urination.
Bible belch. Okay. St. John the Baptist Church in Chiapas, Mexico. I know I said that state wrong, or country or town. I'm sorry. Is also known for its Coca-Cola Church, where churchgoers drink shots of the soda to help release evil spirits through burping.
Nice.
Boy, I don't have an evil spirit in me at all. I'm always burping.
I have an evil spirit every day if it means I get to go there.
Not in his image. God is the only character on The Simpsons to have 10 fingers and 10 toes.
How many fingers does normal characters on The Simpsons?
The Simpsons? I think
have?
they only have
Four? Interesting.
Or three fingers and a thumb?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Three fingers
and a thumb. I feel like a lot of cartoons have that trope where it's like 3 fingers and a thumb, and nobody really says anything about it or thinks about it.
No. Keep them off the naughty list. St. Nicholas, yes, that one, is a patron saint of prostitutes. He learned of a father who lost all of his money and had nothing left for his daughter's dowries, putting them at risk of a life of sex work. Not wanting to embarrass the father, St. Nick came to the house at night, anonymously left a bag of gold. Well, that was nice of him.
All right, let's go, Saint Nick.
Right. Is that, maybe it was St. Nickel.
Like the
Gold
coin.
Yeah. Comedy roast. All right. Christian Marty R. St. Lawrence of Rome was sentenced to die by being roasted alive. Legend has it, when he was being burned, he told his executioners, "Turn me over. I'm well done on this side." Today, he is the patron saint of chefs, cooks, and comedians.
What a cold line to say while you're being cooked
roasted,
alive.
Cold.
Yeah.
Boy.
So, I mean, he's the one being roasted, so why'd the executioner get burned there? Like, oh my gosh. That reminds me of that that one guy. You know what the torture method is? The brazen bull.
I think I've heard of it, but I can't remember. I can't recall it right offhand.
So it's this old torture method where you throw somebody into this metal. It's a metal bowl, essentially. Solid metal. I forget what the metal is. I think it's like solid copper or something like that.
Right?
It's rarely big because you're supposed to fit like you can't comfortably fit in there. You're gonna be like scrunched up and stuff. Okay. It's not supposed to be comfortable. But they throw you in there, and when they close it, it can only be opened from the outside. And what they do is they light a fire under it, and then it rapidly heats up that metal. And because of how like the pipes work, when it gets really hot and you start like screaming, because you're gonna start screaming.
Oh, yeah.
The sound it makes that comes out of the bowl is like, it sounds like a bull bellowing and stuff. Yeah. And so this guy, this like torturer who was presenting it, the creator of it died by his own creation. He took it to this like this king at the time.
Right.
I forget where it was at. It was like Greece or Rome or something like that.
Sounds something like come over there.
He said something. Let me look it up really quick because it's interesting. I want to give it justice. So the brazen bull is a bronze sculpture used for torture. It was invented by Perilius and presented to Phalaris, the tyrant of Agrigus, which I'm pretty sure that's Greece.
It sounds like
who reportedly had Perillus thrown from a cliff after he was freed from the bull. So he said he had this guy. He had him the creator thrown in to the bull because he's like. Oh, you speak you speak high acclaim of this torture device. Have you tested it? He's like, I haven't tested it yet. And he's like, well, we have the perfect subject for you. And then his guards like grabbed him, threw him in there. King was like, because he's sadistic. He's essentially, and apparently he was so impressed by the torture method that he had the creator of it pulled out. Like he was like burns everywhere and stuff. Yeah. There's no way he should be even alive right now. And then he's like essentially, I liked your product so much that I'm going to give you a quick death. So he threw him off of a cliff instead.
Out of the pot and into the fire.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, dude, there's something wrong with that. There's something way wrong. Okay, how about third time's the harm?
Oh, that doesn't sound fun.
Described as everything from negligent to a demon from hell in disguise of a priest. Pope Benedict the Ninth served as pope 3 different times between 1032 and 1048. Born into wealth, he started his first pontification at age 20 and was outsteaded in 1944 for hosting a particularly wild orgies. Okay. His second...
Oh, so pontification means speaking or expressing opinions in a pompous, dogmatic, and often overconfident manner, as if one knows everything about the subject.
Oh, so it's kind of... Okay.
Yeah. So just like lots of arrogance.
Right. His second lasted just 2 months after he was caught trying to sell the papacy and was permanently removed from his position after a brief third term.
Jeez.
And then we wonder why a lot of people don't have any faith in the Pope.
Trying to sell Rome.
Right.
Trying to sell the Pope's house. Could you imagine seeing that on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that? Yeah.
I was flipping. You'll never guess what I found on Zillow. This guy named Benedict was selling his house in Rome.
Honey, we're moving to Italy.
We got a house with a view. And for some reason, there's stains on the ceiling. I don't know what those are for. Holy plumbing. In 2012, something miraculous happened in Mumbai. A statue of Jesus started crying real tears. Author Salin Edimarku, that looks pretty close, suggested that this might actually be from a faulty sewage system. And it was. He faced major backlash from the Catholics and thanked the India's painfully vague blasphemy laws a possible jail sentence. Edimarku moved to Finland to evade arrest.
Oh my God.
And as of 2021, the charges have not been dropped.
Wow.
Almost 10 years later.
That's crazy.
For being right, no less. That's the sad part.
I mean, different places have different statutes of limitations, I guess. Some places probably it never goes away.
What I'd like to know is if it was a sewage issue and it was a statue, does that mean the statue was hollow?
I mean, maybe.
It would have to. It would have to fill up.
Yeah, like it was over like a pipe or something like that. Or
yeah, it would crack and it would just happen to fill up the inside of the statue. And
what I'm curious is why was it attached to a pipe? Is it because it's supposed to be crying? It's like water's supposed to be like.
No, I don't think it doesn't really say. It just said it started crying real tears because the statue, that's probably the thinnest spot. The inside of the eyes is probably the thinnest spot.
Yeah.
The way stuff is pulled. And it just started leaking there first.
Interesting.
Hammer time.
Hammer time.
Vatican rites are shrouded in secrecy, but there are enduring reports of elders using a tap to the forehead with a silver hammer to confirm that the Pope is actually dead and not just napping.
Pope's old. Pope's old.
They sleep hard, that's for sure.
Let's see. Storage Wars. You remember that show?
I do.
I miss that show.
Yeah.
This ain't about it, though.
I used to think the one chick was pretty hot.
Yeah. I used to think the guy was pretty hot.
You know what?
Sorry. I'm just going to read this.
Yeah, you keep talking like that, you are going to confirm the fact that there's a reason why you're single.
During World War II, the U.S. military anticipated an ongoing conflict with Japan. So they put Purple Heart production into overdrive. The surplus lasted until 1999. During World War II, approximately 1.5 million Purple Heart medals were produced. I assume that's because they thought there was going to be a lot more people
dying?
Yeah, dying and fighting in the war. That's kind of sad.
It's kind of dark.
Yeah.
But, that's how they were going to honor those people.
Yeah, that's true.
So they knew that the people were going to die for their cause. So, cool.
I've read about this one.
Uh-oh.
I was telling you about this one on the I don't know if it was the conspiracy theories. It was something else maybe. But ripe with corruption. In 1954, the United Fruit Company known as Chiquita successfully lobbied the U.S. to invade Guatemala and depose their democratically elected president because he had put a stop to brutal labor practices they relied on.
Right, you were talking about that one. That's crazy.
Chiquita was like, Guatemala is communist.
Right.
And the United States is like, well, that's enough for us. And so essentially, that's how that went.
here's 1,000 of our finest.
Yep, Big Daddy U.S.
Yep,
doing wrong,
doing what they do,
doing what they do.
Yep,
talking some bullshit. Despite it not actually being a language, the official language in Illinois from 1923 to 1969 was American. American. It was American. Yeah, it was American. So stupid. Okay. All right. Monumental fuck up. In 2003, the U.S. Marines built a helicopter pad on the grounds of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon in Iraq. Oh, that's fucked up. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The troops badly damaged the site, even filling sandbags with its crushed remnants. That's insane. Horrible. That is real. Yeah, that is bad. Oh my. Wow. Positive reinforcement. In World War II again. In World War II, the U.S. Army had to bribe American soldiers with quarts of ice cream to keep them from killing surrendering Japanese soldiers on the spot. What?
I got a big case of Rocky Road. You don't put a bullet in his head.
Yeah, for real.
I will take your Rocky Road and I will up you some sherbet to say he does die.
Look, whole pint of mint chocolate chip to the first man who does not hang these Japanese. Good God. Oh my gosh.
Oh, the things us Americans will do for ice cream.
Good Lord. Mission Impossible. The CIA spent $20 million on an operation called Acoustic Kitty, which trained cats to spy on the Russian embassy. It failed immediately after the first agent was run over by a taxi.
Oh, they just couldn't get the meow mix just right, could they?
Oh my gosh! Never say that again.
Why would you put that in a cat? Well, that's the CIA for you.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Shook me all day long. Teddy Roosevelt once held the world record for most handshakes in a single day with 8,150 at a White House reception. It's a lot of handshakes.
That's a lot of handshakes.
It's a lot of germs.
It's a lot. Yeah.
I hope he had that woman Lysol stuff.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, a womb cleaner.
Womb cleaner.
I thought that is a lot of handshaking.
That is a lot of handshaking.
That's making my hand hurt just thinking about it.
Gave them the bird. President Andrew Jackson was notoriously profane, so much so that his pet parrot had to be removed from his funeral for swearing loudly and frequently.
Well, that's the kind of parrot I want at my funeral.
Lightens things up a little bit.
Oh, boy.
You know?
It'd be like that. The bird said, what?
I'm sure Andrew Jackson would have loved his parrot to stay there.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure, like, what?
It would have went great with his cuckoo clock. You know, the cuckoo clock that sits in the car goes, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off.
Oh, don't shit on my parade. President Nixon had a chemical bird repellent sprayed along his inaugural parade route to keep pigeons away, which instead left the streets littered with dead pigeons.
It's one way to clean it up.
The river stinks, as in like a play on sticks. Ohio's Cuyahoga River was so polluted that it caught fire no less than 13 times between 1868 and 1969, spurring the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency and the Clean Water Act.
What? That's where that came
Yeah,
from?
that's where that came from, apparently.
Thank you, Ohio.
Wow. That's crazy. 13 times.
13 times.
13 times. You know how hard you have to try to catch literal water on fire?
Obviously, in Ohio, it's not that hard.
Oh, we live next door to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where we dump all our shit so our water stays clean.
Solve for D. The D in D-Day stands for day. Pretty dumb, huh?
Well, no.
Yeah, it does.
The D stands for day.
Yeah.
So it's day.
It's day. Yeah.
I did. If I had a microphone against my forehead, you'd hear a.
I feel like I've heard that before because everyone's like, what does D-Day stand for? It just means day. The D just means day, you know? D-Day, I think, I don't know why it's D-Day. Day. I think it's there because, I don't know, it's stupid. It is dumb. It is dumb. I'm hurting myself trying to understand it.
Yeah. I just give myself a headache.
Land of the free balls. Benjamin Franklin was an advocate of air baths, basically spending an hour per day reading and writing in the nude. That's my kind of president.
I was going to say.
That is my kind of
he's
president.
got an awesome
right there.
name and, brilliant ideas. I'm going to have to think. I'm going to have to remember that.
Assurance fraud. Operation Northwoods was a CIA plan to build support for a war against Cuba by committing genuine acts of terrorism in American cities and blaming them on Fidel Castro. Wow, that's so dumb.
That doesn't. We've talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about
that in our
the conspiracy theories.
the conspiracy theories. We talked about, and I remember saying this. the more you dive, the more you see CIA come up in everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and the funny thing is they're not based on U.S. soil.
No.
So they actually operate under international laws because they're an independent company that's not based in the United States. So
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Truman was smart when he was smart, but it was also his Achilles heel when he made that little group of people.
That's true. That's true.
Ooh, they got one here called Tasteless. We don't have Coke. Is Fanta okay? Because in 1941, the U.S. trade embargo, the German division of Coca-Cola created Fanta as a Coke substitute since they couldn't get the necessary ingredients to make Coca-Cola.
I think I've heard of that
They
before.
don't taste nothing the same, though. Okay.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird.
Yeah. Where's the beef? This is Arby's. Is it Arby's commercial or Hardee's commercial? Where's the beef?
We have the beef. That's all I can think of.
We have the meats.
Oh, we have the meats.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Arby's as well. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I think
Where's
of.
the beef? I think was before that one.
Okay.
Yeah. That was when I was a kid.
Really?
Yep.
You were a kid?
Yes, and we still had TV because I remember the commercial.
What?
It was Granny saying, "Where's the beef? Where's the beef?" Yeah. In 2013, a scandal struck European grocery stores when it was found that ground beef and other beef products contained up to 100% horse meat.
It's not my kind of beef.
Yeah, it's the other beef.
No, other beef.
Yeah. Well, that's like McDonald's hamburgers. Most of that's kangaroo meat.
Is it really?
That's what I was told, or that's what I read. That was a long time ago, but that was before like quality had anything to do with it.
Okay.
Food inspector. Even though they eventually acquired the rights to use him in their marketing, Popeyes was not named for the cartoon sailor. Founder Al Copeland said that Jimmy Popeye Doyle, the dogged NYPD detective played by Gene Hackman in the 1971 movie The French Connection, was the original inspiration for the name. Nifty.
That is cool.
Oh, you were talking about ice. Here's one for ice cream. Here's another one. Ice Cream Social. Oh, this one here is really recent. Prior to his brief tenure as Trump's White House press secretary, Sean Spicer investigated years-long one-sided Twitter war with a novelty ice cream company, Dippin' Dots. Party in the Pantry. Vanilla extract has no age restriction to purchase despite the fact that it's required by the FDA to have a minimum alcohol content of 35%.
Really?
Yep. So your vanilla extract never expires.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Can you get drunk off your vanilla extract then?
Probably if you were to boil it, catch the vapor, and resynthesize the vapor as liquid.
I didn't know it had that stuff.
Yeah. See,
there.
we've been all alcoholics since the day we were born. Damn vanilla extract. It's the 13th step of all you AA recovery.
So delicious.
1 out of every dentists approve. In a truly impressive act of synergy, cotton candy was invented in the late 1800s by dentist William Morrison with an assist from a candy maker. They debuted the treat at the St. Louis World's Fair, where the box of their fairy floss cost almost twice as much as the admission to the event.
Really?
Yeah. So cotton candy was invented by a dentist.
That's crazy. That's like the same energy as doctors recommending you smoke Marlboro Reds. 9 in 10 doctors approve.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Spooky Dookie. There was a brief scare in the 1970s when children were being admitted to the ER with what appeared to be internal bleeding.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
That's not good.
In fact, it was the red dyes and Frankenberry cereal that had caused their pink poo.
Pink poo. Spooky dookie.
Yep.
That makes sense because there's like a lot of people that are allergic to that red dye.
It's just the last sentence. The official name of the condition is called Frankenberry stool.
Frankenberry stool?
That's what it says.
Could you imagine if, like, I thought you were going to say that it was called Spooky Dookie.
Right.
And then could you imagine if I was a doctor, there's no way I
say it with a straight
could
face.
go in and tell you're suffering from a very severe case of Spooky Dookie.
Yeah, you can't say that with a straight face. I don't care who you are. With that, I think Corey and I would like to say thank you for all that stayed.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you did, you really had nothing else better to do. We hope that you continue every week to have nothing better to do and to listen to us talk about our shenanigans.
If you enjoyed those little brief facts, fun facts and stuff, it was in a book we were reading called Shit for Brains.
It's called Shit for Brains. A trivia that you can't unknow. It just says Harebrained Inc.
Okay.
So that must be
probably
the
the publishing
probably
company.
Published company. So, you can. We got that at Barnes and Noble. So, if you would like to check that out, I'm sure that Barnes and Noble would love to hook you up with a book.
Yeah.
So, if you like this chat of topic today, we would much appreciate if you would like, follow, and comment, share this with your friends, and you can tell them how ridiculously funny we are. Well, we might have to slip them some money afterwards, but hey, what the hell? So please do that, and please feel free to comment. Tell us how stupid we sound, or how funny we are, or how much,
both.
or how much you love to laugh at us instead of with us. We're okay with that. We are okay with that. And if you are listening to us on Spotify, good job. I like Spotify too. Send us a star. Send us 5 stars. We're not concerned as long as you send us stars, because that lets us know that you are listening. And that's why we do this. Right? If you have any other things that you would like to tell us that maybe you don't do Facebook or YouTube, you can email us at mo9studios@gmail.com. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe you have some cool facts that we just kind of don't want to ever know, but now can't unknow because you told us. You could send us that in an email too. We would love it. And if we do more of these, which we probably will, we might put yours on too. That'd be great.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Because we would love to hear from you. So, with that, I think we're going to leave them with this thought of the week.
Yes. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
He's a hard man to find.
What do you mean? Oh. That was stupid.
And with that, we will see you next time.
Later, skaters.